back into the hot seat then, into Question Cookie, Paul. My favourite round, this one. Let's get straight into some of the questions. Bit more of an intrusive one, this. Do players generally ignore the media, or does the media generally find its way into the dressing room? How was it when you were a player?
We're different because the media, well, there wasn't as much social media, but if players say they don't read stuff, then they're kidding themselves. Of course, everybody wants to know what people think of them and whether they're playing well or not playing well, or and negative comments can get into your head. And I think you're kidding yourself if you don't care, if you say you don't care. But there's a side of it where you've got to accept it with a pinch of salt as well, because everybody's got an opinion. They're like arseholes, aren't they? Everyone's got one, and it's as simple as that. So they don't particularly affect me. I think I've been through enough now to understand they don't affect me. I don't like rudeness, and I don't like people saying anything personal and insults.
Yeah.
I don't like judgment because people don't understand what shoes we're walking in.
Because obviously there's two things that's happened recently in Super League alone. Obviously the stuff at Castleford, and then the stuff at, what was the other club? I think Hull FC. Obviously they've been getting panned a lot throughout the season. Do you think that them sort of squads this season have been going on the social media, have been checking out, and does that feed through to the squad because of opinions on the outside?
No, I don't think opinions on the outside make too much of a difference. But if the opinions on the outside match the opinions on the inside, they do make a difference.
Yeah.
And there's no question them two clubs have had the fair share of noise that have come out of them. St Helens is another club that have had the fair share of noise come out as well. So there's no question that if everybody's of the same opinion and people in the dressing room are talking about it and have the same opinion, then obviously them opinions are probably more factual than not.
Next question. As a former player, what are you seeing and looking for during a game that the average fan doesn't see?
Oh, how long have you got?
Well, give me your best two ones.
Listen, when the ball goes away from you, in a game of rugby league, that's when you should be at your most alert.
Yeah.
Because that's when you should be looking for different triggers to get the ball in your hands if you're attacking, or make sure you understand what's going on in front of you while the ball's away from you defensively.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example of an attack. I would understand what each player was going to do from the opposition right edge defence. So I would understand if the winger was an intercept merchant or was up and in. If he stayed back 2.5 metres, I would play to centre more than winger. I would understand if the centre's up and in. I would understand if the halfback's a my-man defender, so he could put a lead on him or a player in and around him, and he would just take the next block, the next player. I would also look for hips, whether hips turned in, turned out, whether eyes turned in and turned out, where the fullback's positioning was on a player. And if you tied up the back rower, I'd keep going because there'd be a bigger middle coming round the corner. Yeah. So I'd feel I could get to the outside of that middle. So there's lots of different triggers. There's far much more that goes into a play or a try assist play than anybody would ever think as a ball player.
As that move, so say the move is unfolding, you've got the ball in your hands, you're attacking that right edge defence.
Yeah.
Before you've even scanned the line, all that information, is that already subconscious to you?
Course,
so you know where everyone is.
It's already computed. Yeah, it's already computed. Well, pre-game, you understand from watching videotape that you've got of the opposition, what the opposition players do. So you can have a little book which says, for argument's sake, the Leeds right edge defence or the St Helens right edge defence would do these things. So you've already got a picture of it. You've already got a picture of what different players do. So once the trigger is the back row gets caught and there's a middle around the corner, the fullback's in this position and he's trying to get the middle across him. If the fullback doesn't step in, you've got the right edge already, because you're already to the halfback, the 3-player in. The centre and wing, you understand what they're going to do, so you pick your pass accordingly. So the Saints' right edge, when we played, there was Jamie Lyon defended as 3-man, Sean Long 2-man, and then Darren Albert as the winger. Darren Albert you couldn't throw across the front of because he'd intercept. Sean Long was a my-man defender, and if you ended up at Jamie Lyon, he would take the next man because he didn't get any information from his inside. So you would end up playing short on him.
Yeah.
So he'd play short through the gap because Long would take the centre because he was a my-man defender. So there was different ways of opening up different teams. There was susceptible to a kick behind as well, because if Albert felt threatened, he'd get up high so that you could roll a kick in. So there's different players that you understand in different defences.
Yeah. Love the insight. Next question. In the 2005 season with Hull FC, you had the pleasure of playing alongside the former Kiwi international Stephen Kearney.
Yeah.
How good of a player was he to have in and around the squad with you?
Brilliant. You don't realise how good he was until you start thinking about how you should live your life and lead your life afterwards. So while he was there, we was in a bubble of Hull FC, and I was a young kid that was just enjoying rugby and probably enjoying socialising as much as the rugby, which was our way as a club. But it wasn't the right way. Stevens was the right way.
Yeah.
I'll give you a story about him. He said before the night before a Challenge Cup final that he was going to flatten Kevin Sinfield first time he got the ball, or he didn't have the ball, and he would give a penalty away because he wanted to leave one on him. Yeah. And I'm looking right across the line at the Millennium Stadium as it was then, the Principality now. 76,000 people there, and it's all uproar, and you can't see anything or hear anything much. I'm looking across the line, and Kevin Sinfield passes the ball in the first 2 minutes. And if you go back and watch the game, about 3 seconds later, he just sits on his arse and on his back, and Stephen's gone through him. And there was no penalty given, but he's just gone through him and laid one on him. Now, it didn't affect Kevin. He ended up with the Lansford Trophy.
Yeah.
But it was just funny to me that he knew. I knew he was going to lay one on someone. There was nasty. The front row, the back row was nasty back then at Hull FC. They used to have a meeting in the showers before every game about what they was going to do to the opposition. And Stephen was a focal point in that. He was calm as well as aggressive. A wonderful player. Finished his time by getting sent off after 7 minutes in a playoff game for a head-high shot on Stuart Fielding, which, again, I think he was going to lay one on him because of something that had happened on earlier on in the year. Yeah,
love it. He was a massive player, obviously. From a fan's point of view, loved watching him, and he had an incredible career over in the NRL. His time at the Melbourne Storm was really good as well.
Best back row on the planet at one time.
Yeah, he was. Can't disagree with that. Right, we're going to finish off then with one of your favourites. I know you like these ones. Rate the following lock forwards in Paul Cooke's order.
Gosh, here we go.
Andy Farrell, Paul Sculthorpe, Isaiah Yeo, Paul Gallen.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. You like to make this easy, don't you?
Yeah. Give me your best one. We'll go top to bottom. Who's your best one out of Farrell, Sculthorpe, Yeo, Gallen?
Well, I was a kid when I played against Farrell. He was the best player I played against, Andy Farrell, so I'd have to put him at one.
Yeah.
I never played against any of the last two. I played against Sculthorpe, but he was phenomenal, Farrell. Sculthorpe, brilliant. Isaiah Yeo's won 4 premierships, by the way.
Yes,
Gallen's only won 1. Gallen was so important to both New South Wales and Australia and Cronulla Sharks when they won their premiership in 2016. Gallen 4, Sculthorpe 3, Isaiah Yeo 2, Farrell 1.
Love it. I love putting you on the spot with him.
Yeah, cheers for that. He's going to smack me.
Yeah, he is. Right, love it. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also drop your comments in the section for if there's any of these questions that you would like me to ask Paul. That wraps up Question Cookie. Let's move into the Super League news. If you enjoyed this segment, the full 90-minute podcast with all 5 segments is linked below, where we discuss the latest Super League and NRL news and results, plus the bonus segment of Question Cookie each week. Don't forget to subscribe, click the bell icon to be notified of all future content uploaded by NRL Insight UK. Thank you for your continued support, and see you on the next one.